We're live. We did it on Feedback Monday. We switched it up. What's up? What's up, everyone? Today is April 1st, depending on when you're watching this. And you might be used to us having Feedback Fridays. Well, guess what? We switched it up. We want to make sure that we keep everyone on their toes. And it is Monday, April 1st. So whenever you watch this, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing good. I hope that we caught you in good energies. Rachel and I were excited to talk about just some updates, some growth, some glows with School Psych AI. Rachel, what's up?
I'm wonderful. I'm still on spring break. I go back to school psyching tomorrow. But yeah, it's been a good spring break, and um, yeah, I'm ready. I'm excited to share some things.
That's amazing. So have you done anything fun over spring break yet?
We did a family vacation. So I went to Las Vegas for the first time. So that was pretty fun. I'm not a big risk taker, but it was fun. I did participate in some gambling, but it was fun.
Okay. So I knew you were traveling. I didn't know where. I didn't realize. This is my son. He takes a lot of credit for a lot of the things I do. So if you saw him, his hand, that's the hand of magic. That's great. But okay, so Rachel, let's go back to you. And now here's my youngest son as well. And this is live. This is what happens with psychologists working from home. So he came in, he, he made a special guest appearance. Yeah, I'm working from home. So this is real life. Drop in the chat if you're working from home, or if you're in the schools, wherever. But if you're working at home and you had like your kids just pop on at any time. But Rachel, where I was going with that is knowing how you work your style. It sounds like you're risk averse, but going to Vegas, how did that work for you?
It was fun. I practiced being outside of my comfort zone. But yeah, we participated in some gambling. My husband is more of a like table gambling, like cards and stuff like that. But I just stuck with what felt the safest, like penny slots. But it was fun.
Nice. I got to go to Vegas for the first time a few months ago, and it was fun. I can see how if you're risk averse versus a risk taker, and anywhere in between, how it could be a good time. So glad that you had a good time. I'm not on spring break, but the kids they were out last Friday and today, which is Monday, depending on when you hear this, which is the reason why you hear them in the background. But we got to go back home. I'm in Houston now. Got to go back home, which for me is the DC, Maryland area. Got to spend time with my family, which was really cool as well. So that's always fun. Just to spend time with family. A highlight. We practice Christianity, and so my kids were baptized over the weekend. So that was a really big moment. So super exciting for the kids. But today, what we want to talk about is just where we are, and have a conversation about some of the things that we have going on. Before we jump into it, Rachel, did I miss anything?
I don't think so. I think we're ready.
All right, great. And so, what we want to do, and as I'm hooking up my microphone, test 1 2, you all can still hear me. Thumbs up. All right, great. What we wanted to do today is just to have a conversation about a number of things. We want to go through some of the glows. We want to go through some of the grows, but also importantly, share with you all. We are officially 6 months old. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, please drop some of the celebration emojis inside the chat if you're tuned in. Um, this is a big thing for us to be in this space, to have been helping school psychologists for 6 months. I shared some pictures on. We shared some pictures across social media from where we started, some of the original photos once we launched September 28th, 2023, and just reflecting on where we've been in such a short amount of time is honestly spectacular. And I contribute attribute a lot of our success for how we've been able to move fast, how we've been able to meet the needs and create something that is beneficial to our school psych AI community. The reality is that we could not have made it this far without our school psych AI community. So if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, like, you gotta drop hand claps in the chat for yourselves, because the feedback that you share, the wisdom, the insight, the patience that you all have with us is remarkable. And we've heard loud and clear that there has to be a better way to practice um, daily at this point, and that's not an exaggeration. I'm having conversations with people who have either left the field, who are contemplating leaving the field, or who already have an exit plan in the next few months to leave the field. And the common theme is, you know, it's not what they thought it was going to be. They're inundated with paperwork that's just excessive, and it's just this stress and burnout is it's not what they want for their lives, which is fair, and I agree with that. And so, as I reflect on the 6 months of where we've been, we got into this saying that we wanted to create tools to help psychologists with writing reports to be efficient in their time. And I think that still is true. There's value in that. But Rachel, if you're listening, if you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, we have a bigger task in front of us. And to me, that task is to truly change how we practice as school psychologists. And for me, what that looks like is getting to a point to where we're beyond stress, we're beyond burnout, but to where we're truly flourishing in our roles. I still think there's validity to wanting to practice within the full scope of our work, but even more than that, just flourishing in what we're doing, having positive emotion, being engaged in the work that we're doing, having meaningful relationships in this work, meaning, mattering. Shout out to Dr. Martin Seligman, who talks about moving from meaning, which is absolutely important, to mattering in the things that we do and decisions that we make, and the contributions that we give to the field, then having a sense of accomplishment. And if you're familiar of what I just went through, that's the PERMA model of well-being. So we are talking about improving the well-being of psychologists, moving towards flourishing. And to me, that's the task that we have before us. And as we move to the next 6 months, to the next 2 years, to the next 5, to the next 10 years, that's essentially the task that we have before us, to move to where we can improve the well being of psychologists. That's it. So, Rachel, thoughts? Talk to me. What's on your mind?
I just really feel like that resonates with me as a full-time practitioner. There are there and have been many moments where I've thought, can I do this sustainably? And I'm pretty early careers. I had to check mid career for the first time pretty recently, so that was kind of interesting. But this is year 6 for me, not including internship. And there's been times where I've thought, am I able to do this sustainably? This is not what I thought I was going to be doing with my time. And I thought I was going to be doing a lot more prevention and systems level change and all of the things that we talked about in graduate school. But then seeing the disconnect between our training and what school psyching looks like in real life. A lot of my time is spent test, place, repeat. And while I sometimes feel like, okay, I'm going to write this beautiful report and it's going to be an artifact that's going to follow that student and I'm going to help them in this way, we still get bogged down by all of the paperwork and things. So what drew me to School Psych AI was the opportunity to, okay, if I can streamline these things like report writing and recommendations and things like that, then I can spend my time doing other things that actually fill my school psych bucket. So I'm right there with a lot of the feedback that we've been getting from a lot of it, from everybody.
Yeah, and to that, when we first started, back in September, we saw. I think there's several things that were happening. There's intrigue by AI and technology and how this can help school psychologists, which attributed to just the large amount of people testing out the platform. But then it's that very real need of I'll take anything at this point to make my job more doable. And I think it doesn't really matter what camp you're in. It's recognizing there's a better way. And over the course of the past 6 months, we have been dedicated and determined. I know I've been working, the team has been working relentlessly to provide these tools. It's funny looking back where we first started. If you haven't, go to our social media page. There's a original graphic, and if you're watching, you might know it was just a chat bot. Sophia, the chat bot, and having conversations. And there were some really great things in that first iteration of it. And there were some things, yeah, there we go. Oh my gosh, y'all. Okay, so a little fun fact. So the what you all are seeing here, this was in the first email that I sent out to was I think I said something along the lines of like it's Team Byron or like I was the only person by myself working on this. And I often get asked like, do you know how to code? Barely, but I know enough to be dangerous. And I was able to create this first iteration of it. And it's, a bunch of lines of like HTML and some, integrated with some different features and things. But this is the first iteration that we came up with, and it got the job done in a very good way. But you see this dark purple background with the chat bot right there. You put in the questions, and it did its purpose, which was awesome. But looking from this first iteration to where now we have a full blown platform in 6 months, that is outstanding. And again, it goes back, it's a testament to the community that we've built to where we're listening to, okay, what if we did this? And sometimes the answer might be no, but because we care so deeply about meeting the needs of our community, one of our core values is figure out ability, and we figure it out and we make it happen. And because of that feedback, because of the figure out ability, like now we've grown to this platform. Rachel, you are on it, that you see before us. Oh my goodness. And now we can do so many different things. You can expand the chatbot. You can have saved prompts. Shout out to Rachel who developed the prompt playbook. We've integrated the prompt library. You can create new threads. Y'all, that was now as I'm talking, that was one of the first feedback that we got from the first iteration was I want to save threads. And now you have the ability to create new threads. Like that's a great illustration of that. You can delete threads. That was the next big piece of feedback. I want to be able to delete threads, and now you can do that. So it's just really, really cool to see the differences. Oh, Rachel, another feature. If you can scroll your cursor towards the bottom right of inside the actual chat box, the clipboard, the thumbs up and the thumbs down. That is this is pivotal. This is some really good insight, y'all. W- One of the biggest things that I wanted to do was to create the clipboard and the feedback, the thumbs up and thumbs down. And that is about the area where I tapped out my coding skills. And shout out to Ed, our CCO, who has been working relentlessly as well. But I was like, look, I want a clipboard and I'm trying to do it with HTML and some JavaScript, but I can't get it. I need help. So it's really cool to see like now we have a clipboard where you can copy and paste the responses that you get. We have the built-in feedback where you hit the thumbs up. Great, I like this. Thumbs down. It could be much better. Um, Really, really cool to see. If you're watching, please let us know. When did you start using the platform? Have you been there when it was the OG Sophia with the dark purple background? And let us know if you have any questions or anything as well. Rachel, I'll throw it over to you for a second because I know I'm talking a lot.
I had not seen the kind of before and after photos until we had that post. But yeah, it was really cool to see Sophia grow from those first three tools with the chatbot to this entire platform. That's not just the report writer that we have, but all these other tools as well, like continuing the chatbot feature, the summarizer. Like there's a lot of really cool tools that are built in, and some amazing tools that we're working on behind the scenes that I know are going to make it even better. So I'm really excited to see in the next 6 months. Hopefully, we'll have the same reaction when we look at this screen as we are today looking at the dark purple screen.
Like that is like really cool to think about. If we went from the original screen to this in 6 months, now I can't wait to see where we go from this screen to the next 6 months. And we are working. We have some amazing concepts, a really cool roadmap of where we, based on community feedback, where we want to go. So stick with us. Again, thanks for your patience as we grow. We know we're not perfect, right? As we get into some of our growths, like we know that there are a number of areas that like we just have to improve on. One of the areas to where we recognize very quickly a limitation with AI is around interpretations. And what that means is if you were using the conversations tab, you say, hey, here are some scores. Give me an interpretation based on these scores and what it means in the academic setting. Like it might, especially with qualitative descriptors, it wasn't getting it accurate 100% of the time, and that's a cause for concern, especially where there are things in our field where we just have to be precise. Like that was an area where we could have sacrificed, and so we had to pause some of the other things that we were working on and prioritize, which now we have the report writer. That's how the report writer came about. And we built in not just the use of artificial intelligence, but some other logics to improve the accuracy, because that just matters, and we had to get it right. And so, being able to take that feedback to say, hey, here's a big area where we have to grow like right away, and then getting it out to the world and continuously getting feedback. Still not perfect. We still have a long ways to go with it, but it really shows the commitment that we have of improving. Rachel, anything you want to add there?
I think that whenever we did that Facebook poll, was a few months ago, where you asked like what features do you want to see next. That automation and accuracy piece was a big one, which drove us to kind of that report writer where it's not AI only, it's our collective knowledge as school psychologists and our combined years as practitioners, building in a lot of those pieces and making sure that it is accurate um, as a platform. So, and I know some other features that have been requested. I know that we have seen a lot for like an FBA BIP generator. We've seen questions about can we do this, and it's been really cool to see everyone's ideas and then see our development team bring a lot of those to life. So I'm really excited for what's to come for School Psych AI.
All right. If you're watching, and we know a lot of people watch the recording, but let us know what psychology, we're calling them school psychology AI tools. We're gonna come up with a better name, but what tools, FBA, BIP generators, text summary. Let us know what tools. Let us know if you think that would be helpful. First, we don't want to create anything that won't be helpful. But then let us know what tools you would use on a daily basis. I mean, every single day when we do our presentations around AI. there's a slide and we talk about things that we can automate. Like, think about your daily work, what you're doing every single day, and what are some of the things to where you can automate it, or the things to where you just don't like doing it. And we could be honest, there's things that we just don't like to do, but we got to do it. Those are things where we can leverage AI and really automate the process and really take that off your plate, which would go to what we're saying, improving your ability to flourish in this. So let us know, like, what are some of the things, put it inside the chat. Like, if you're watching right now, whenever you watch the recording, what are some of the tools that you can think of that can really help make your job easier? It can be anything, like legit, think of anything, right? Which would be really cool. And let us know. Rachel, what's that? Let's do it as a model. What's a tool that you could think of that could super, super help you? And I'll give you some think time. For me, a tool that I would love to see would be something like, let's say ooh, this would be really cool, to where you go inside of a classroom, you do a behavior observation. I would take all these random notes. I would write it out, write it out, write it out. Well, let's say now you go in with a laptop, your notes app, your school psych AI feature, you're taking all of these notes, and then you put it into this generator, and then it gives you a write up, an interpretation of that behavior observation that you did. So a behavior observation generator would be cool, right? So that's my example. That's what I would want to see. Rachel, what about you?
I agree that that would be super helpful. I know for me, like the parts of report writing that get less exciting are writing up those observations. So that would be amazing. For me, I would love to see a tool um, kind of for readability and strength based language. I know that at our last convention, there were a lot of great sessions on report writing styles and things like that. But that kind of takes me back to the first purpose that I had for using AI was kind of scanning like what amount of knowledge or education does the reader have to have in order to access what I've just written down? And it really blew my mind. So being able to kind of assess my readability and then give me some tips for um, kind of bringing it back to more parent friendly, more strength based language. I think that that would be a really, really cool tool, strength based and readability kind of tools.
I love that. That's such a good idea. And making the all the things we do accessible, not just reports, but emails, like random, things that you have to draft up, all the stuff. We can make all of it strength based. So Rachel, awesome, awesome idea. And if you're watching, recording or live, feel free to drop inside the chat. Um, Two quick things as well. In this the past 6 months, really for this, within the past month and a half, maybe 2 months, we released our enterprise offering, which is a license direct to districts. We have private practices, we have academic institutions, organizations, which is really, really cool to see. And so we'll continue growing. We built out a page, boom, right there. So if you're interested in that, let's have a conversation. And importantly, we want to meet your needs, whatever that might be, at the district level, private practice, academic level, whatever. But then the second thing that we found, above and beyond just providing tools and all the different features to people and products, is like, what is AI? What's the ethics behind it? What are legal considerations? How do I use these tools? What can it do? Will AI take my job? These are questions that we get all the time. There has to be a level of education around what AI is, what it's not, how we can leverage this technology in our work, where we need to understand the limitations of it just broadly. What are the ethics? How we can automate. There just has to be that. And so, one of the things that we've purposed to do is to provide professional development, so that people know how to take advantage of this tool, and to how really understand how to use it in their day to day. And so the trainings that we've been having have been really helpful in that. And Rachel just put inside of the chat, if you're watching, our PD page to where you can learn more about it. And we're working with districts, with organizations, really with any and everyone. And so providing that education is paramount. And Rachel is one of her roles with us is helping with PD. So Rachel, I'll throw it to you to talk more about our PD offerings.
So I just pulled up the professional development page on the School Psych AI website, and you'll see, all the information up at the top. But there's a one sheet if you just wanted kind of a quick guide on what is available. Um, just as we were kind of chatting about, we want to make sure that we're providing education around AI because there are limitations and there are a lot of ethical considerations to think about when you're using any AI tool, whether it's School Psych AI or something else. So providing some more information and growing our collective knowledge around appropriate AI usage. So what we've built out as our PD offerings, keynote sessions. We also have a 4-part learning series. So being able to chat about prompt basics if you've never used AI before, all the way to kind of beyond the basics, mastering prompt engineering, how to iterate to get the output that you're looking for. And then moving into even more advanced AI integration. How can you maximize all of the tools that School Psych AI offers? And then that ethical considerations piece. I know a lot of us need PD around ethics for our NCSPs, and so I'm excited that that's something that we'll be able to talk through and have more conversations around ethics. And then if you are part of enterprise, then you get an hour of PD with us, and we've been moving through a lot of those. We did one earlier today. So if you are an enterprise level user, you do get access to a 60-minute overview where we pack in as much information as we can during that 60 minutes. But that's just a little bit more about our PD offerings. To access this, you just click the link that I put in the chat, the professional development link, and you can ask more information. We do virtual, but we can also do in person. So if that's something you're interested in, just reach out to either one of us and we can get you more info.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Rachel, for that. And I'm just noting our time. Um, so, Rachel, is there anything else pressing that we should discuss or go through? Anything that I might have forgot?
I don't think so. I think we packed in everything that has happened from 6 months ago till now and highlighted all of the features that we have.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cool. I know I can get going. I know one of the last things is where are we going for the future? And the most immediate right now, what we're already working on is just stability of the overall platform. And what we mean by stability is you log in and it does what it's supposed to do. There's a lot more like technical aspects of it, but for what you care about is, can I log into the platform and it does what it's supposed to do? And that's paramount for us right now. And that's priority number one, where you can log in, you can have conversations, you can, get answers back, get the good suggestions, where you can upload documents into the summarizer and it gives you the 1 to 2 page summary where you can use the report writer and you're able to input your scores. You get a table, you can make the edits as you need, where you can export without problems, and just having a seamless experience. Like that's our top priority right now. We'll still be releasing assessments and measures on a weekly basis. Every Monday, we have a handful dropping today. We'll have some dropping next week again until we get every assessment in. But where we're going, we're not just a report writer, and I think this is very important to say. There are other report writer platforms out there that do a good enough job. Like we don't want to be that. again, we're 6 months old. We're listening. We're hearing conversations. We have a very large community. Right now, stress and burnout is the biggest barrier to us being able to do our job. And so we have to be more than a report writing platform. We have to be a entity, a community, to where we can find safe harbor, where we can get the tools that we need to truly flourish. And that's my priority right now, straight up. So I'm excited to see what the next 6 months will bring. At the core of everything we do will always be our community, because you all are our heartbeat and why we do this. So, Rachel, anything else?
I think just highlighting what you said and echoing how grateful we are for all of the feedback and patience and everything that this community brings. And I would just say, if you haven't already, make sure that you follow us across all of our social media platforms. I know we're building out even more on our YouTube channel, some more tutorials, things like that. So, yeah, keep the feedback coming through social media, and we'll continue to meet as a team and make improvements based on what you guys want to see next.
Awesome. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you. If you tuned on Facebook, on YouTube, make sure that you follow us across all social media platforms, and tell a friend to tell a friend about us. Until next time, take care, everyone.